young women entrepreneurs remain excluded from formal finance, with only 23% leading registered SMEs and less than 12% of SMEs loans reaching them. Now, this persistent gap is both a gender equity concern and a critical economic challenge, limiting innovation, productivity and job creation. The need to spotlight systemic barriers while harnessing insights and solutions on how they can be dismantled will help ensure that young women's voices are mainstreamed in Nigeria's entrepreneurial narrative. Joining me now to discuss this approach in more detail is Peace Alibidi, who is founder of Elsea.ng. Peace, you're welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. We love a young female entrepreneur on the show. So let's get some more insight. We understand you in the creative arts space. Let's get some more understanding about your business and, more importantly, what inspired you to get into it.
Okay. I'm the owner of Elsea.ng. I am a small business owner who sells jewelry and accessories. My inspiration was from my family. You know, my upbringing. I grew up seeing a lot of entrepreneurs around me. But then aside that, I also grew up around civil servants. Now, I just wanted to have something for myself and not rely on, you know, at that point, the pocket money that was being given, because when you have parents who work as civil servants, most times the salary doesn't come in when it's supposed to come in, and as a young person that affected my pocket money in a way. So I didn't want to rely so much on them, and I didn't want the disappointment of, you know, always calling home or always asking for money or pocket money, and you know, no one will say, okay, I've not been paid yet. So that like pushed me to actually start my business.
Right, so you sought your own independence, your own economic independence,
yes,
in many ways, yes. Right? Well, how long have you been in this process for?
I started 2022. Yeah, I started my business in 2022. After I finished from university, I stayed 1 year before NYSC. So at that moment, you know, nobody will be giving you anything as they were giving you before, because you're no longer in school, you're at home. So I just wanted to have something for myself, and that was when I got the idea to start the Elsea.ng business. You know, I said earlier that I grew around a lot of business owners. You know, I have sisters who have businesses. So that further pushed me to actually start something for myself too.
Absolutely. So 3 years into this venture, let's talk about some of the initial challenges that you faced as a young female entrepreneur, especially when it comes to accessing finance.
Yeah, I have faced a lot of challenges. You know, it hasn't been easy, and I wouldn't say my business has, you know, it has always been easy. I've had a lot of times where I'll have to like pause and then start again, push, start again. I had a lot of learning and unlearning. The first problem I had, or the first barrier I had, was the dollar. You know, my business, as a business owner, when I got the idea, I was looking for where to source these jewelries, where to get jewelry pieces that are unique. And I went to the market and I found out that, okay, I don't want two people to be wearing the same thing. I want something different, you know, so that when you see, you ask, okay, where did you get this from? So it led me to where, okay, I can buy in dollar and then import to Nigeria and then sell. So my biggest issue was getting a card to pay online. Now, at a point, we could not use Naira cards to buy online. At a point, I had to use a fintech, and they stopped giving virtual dollar cards. So that has been one challenge for me. Getting loans too has also been a challenge. You know, if you want to upscale as a business owner, you cannot upscale with, as a small business owner, you need loans, right? So there are a lot of conditions that, you know, have been put in place that used to make it very hard for small business owners to be able to get loans. So that has been another challenge as well.
Right. And let's talk about financial literacy as well, especially when it comes to young female entrepreneurs. How important would you say this will be? Let's actually gauge your level of financial literacy. Would you say this has been important for you in this process of starting and growing your business? Because that's also important.
Yes. Financial literacy, I feel like it's the, you know, when you start secondary school and then you have to do mathematics and English. I think for every entrepreneur, financial literacy has to be those, it has to be the stepping blocks for your business. I feel like when you start your business and there's no financial literacy, at a point times you have to go back and learn and unlearn. Now, as a small business owner, I had to take courses on financial literacy. I had to take courses on entrepreneurship and small business. I just had to broaden my knowledge on some certain type of things. Now, if I'm looking for grants, I need financial literacy to be able to know how to write a proper business proposal to gain those grants, right? If I am looking for loans, okay, what are the criteria I need to be able to get the loan from the bank? So I feel like we need to know, and I feel most small business owners, most times we run away from mathematics. I'm speaking from myself. Now, when you have financial literacy, you know bookkeeping. Now, in as much as some of us don't like mathematics, we need to go back and learn how to study these figures, because we are dealing with money, and then we need proper bookkeeping. So we need knowledge on these things. So you cannot overemphasize the importance of financial literacy.
Right, so it's very essential, pretty much. Would you say there are enough platforms that allow for you? So for instance, you went out to seek these platforms to enrich your knowledge. Would you say that there's enough support structurally for young entrepreneurs like you in terms of accessing this information to boost your financial literacy?
I feel like there is support, but the reach is the problem, right? Because I was able to get this knowledge or look out for this knowledge. Now let's talk about the women in the grassroots, people in the communities, people that cannot really access this information as easy as, I was able to access. Now that's the problem. So even if these things have been put in place for entrepreneurs, sometimes it doesn't really reach where it's supposed to reach. Sometimes it doesn't really reach the grassroots. So there is need for the reach. It is not the fact that it is there. It needs to reach the right people. There are people that are actually benefiting from it, but not everyone is benefiting from it, especially small business owners.
Right, so reach is extremely important. Peace, I want to thank you so much for joining us today on the Global Business Report. And, well done. And we'll keep keeping an ear to the ground for more from Elsea.ng.
Thank you so much.